Hi all. Tonight I'd like to talk about Isaiah chapter 53 verse 5. He was wounded by our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. These words burn into our hearts just as we begin to understand that the sinless Son of God, Jesus Christ, willingly allowed himself to be wounded, bruised, and severely crushed with wounds that we ourselves deserve. Jesus died a death he didn't deserve. We did. We deserved that death. Christ suffered cruel treatment and gave up his life willingly so that we might not perish, but be given peace with God, and in turn have that peace guard our hearts. For by his stripes we are healed. Not a healing of the body, but a healing of the spirit and the forgiveness of sins. Jesus paid an enormous price for our sins and broke the power of sin and death in our life forever, returning us into fellowship with God. We are accepted by God because of him. Christ was appointed to sit on David's throne and reign as Israel's King of Kings. But first, he had to come as the suffering servant. He had to come as a man who was despised. He had to come as a man who was rejected by all men. A man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. Jesus will one day return as the Messiah, once they cry out as a nation, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." But first, he has to be wounded for their transgressions. He also has to be wounded for our sins. He has to be bruised for their iniquity. He has to be bruised for you and me as well. Jesus died in our place, so we will have access to God's mercy, and only by his blood do we escape the death we so deserve. God bless you all.